ever happened in this league? I don't know. Maybe. I've never seen it, never been a part of a game where you're down 2-0 and down a man and a team
Caleb,
claws
I think
back.
you might be muted. Eunice, can you mute him?
Where?
You go, Caleb. Apologies.
Carlos, can you hear us?
Caleb, you're good to go.
Can you hear me? Okay. At a loss for words a little bit, unbelievable. Has it ever happened in this league? You guys will look it up. I've never seen it. I've never been a part of a game, certainly, where a team has been down 2 goals and down a man, and been able to come back and claw out a result. Couldn't be more proud of my guys. Just the mettle they showed, the resiliency they showed, the mentality, the belief. Takes all those things to pull out a result like that under the circumstances. And, we build our locker room to be tough. We build our locker room to be resilient. We build our players' mentality to fight through anything. Last year was a good example. We were the team that ended out on top through most difficult year maybe in MLS history. And today was maybe one of the most difficult situations to be in. And for us to pull out of that, it's absolutely incredible. Says everything about the players, that locker room, that group of guys, and just couldn't be more proud to be their coach.
Thank you, Caleb. For our first question, we'll go to Pat Murphy, followed by Adam Jardy.
Caleb, you said this week, that while you had this circled, it was a game where you guys were out for 3 points. After the game, there was a lot of emotion down on the field. Did this feel different, especially given the scenario you just talked about coming back down in the?
Yeah, obviously. When you're down 2-0 and down a man, to be able to pull out a result like that, like I said, has it ever happened? I don't know. You guys will look it up, but it's incredible. And I thought the second yellow was harsh. I thought, honestly, again, we shoot ourselves in the foot a couple times, very similar to New England, but I looked up at the stats at halftime and we were pretty even in shots and we had the better of the possession and the passes down a man. So it's individual moments that we have to clean up, but you cut out those 2 moments, those situations, we were the better team the entire game. And I think it says everything about our guys. Obviously you can taint the result by saying we were down 2-0, this, that. This is an incredible comeback and an incredible result. And they have to be devastated over there in that other locker room, because how can you be up 2-0 and up a man and not win the game?
And to build on that a little bit, being down, you mentioned the fight of your team. You've also talked about kind of the emotions of these last several games, and this is a rivalry game in a tough environment. To build on, the fight and whatnot. How much does that make it more difficult when you're playing in a rivalry game and in a crowd that was unbelievable tonight?
Yeah, and I didn't even mention the fact we have 11 players out, and we had to sub other guys out during the game, and we only had 5 players on the bench. And most of the guys on the bench haven't played hardly any minutes this year. And the guy that scored the goal to draw has hardly played any minutes in MLS. Isaiah Parenta is similar. Eric Hurtado literally flew in yesterday. He hasn't even trained with us. He did a gym workout. These are all things that, I'm not going to let you guys or anyone paper over this result. This is incredible what these guys did, and I hope you guys realize it, and I hope you pay them some credit for it, honestly.
Thank you, Caleb. Next, we'll go to Adam Jardy of the Columbus Dispatch, followed by Charlie Hatch of Columbus Crew.
Caleb, you said when you looked at the stats, you felt it comes down to individual moments that either team would have to clean up. When Lucas gives you that goal in the first minute of stoppage time there in the first half, What does that do when you're going up against all the things you talked about? And when you have a player that can give you an individual moment like that and spark things, how much did you need that in a game like this?
Lucas Zelerian, a lot of people won't agree with me on this, is the best attacking player in the league. When he plays like he played today, I don't see a guy in the league better than him. We dropped into a 4-4-1 when we went down a man and basically left him up top and hoped that he would pull off a play, pull a rabbit out of the hat. He was absolutely incredible, and the goal he scored, to go 2-1 was world class. And he almost scored another one with the ball that hit the crossbar and barely bounced in front of the line. He was absolutely incredible, and every bit as good as we thought he'd be. But anybody who watched that game, watched his performance, watched how he dribbled out of things, how he held the ball, how hard he worked, how much he cares. For me, if you factor all those things in, I don't think there's a better attacking designated player in the league.
And when you do get that goal, regardless of how you get it, when you get a goal right before the end of the half, how did that maybe change some of the momentum and some of the feelings going into the half? Because like you said, you felt like you were doing a lot of things that you liked, but you could have still been down 2-0 to get that goal. How did that change?
Yeah, I think again, when you have a really tough group that you really every day build, a mentality, that's mental, that's tough, that's hard, that's able to handle, a group of guys that are able to handle anything, really anything. And the reason I build my locker rooms that way is because in MLS, you got to be able to handle anything. You got to be able to handle anything. You never know what you're going to get. You never know what the referee's going to be like. You never know what the calls are going to be like. You never know in football, if you're going to be down, you never know what the hell is going to happen, honestly, from week to week and game to game. And with 34 games over 10 months, you have to be ready for anything, and you have to build a group that's tough, that's able to manage and cope with anything. And you saw a group that never backed down, even down 2 goals and down a man. And most teams, they quit because they know the statistics show. If you look at around the world, down a man, down 2 goals, how many results happen around the world? The statistics show you're probably 95%. And I'm just spitballing that number, but you're going to lose the game. You're going to lose the game. And our guys refused to lose the game. And at halftime, you could see in their eyes they were going to do it. And Lucas for sure gave us a little belief. And when you have a player like Lucas and like Darlington and a center back like Jonah, you're always going to be in every game, always. And with Lucas, you're always going to have a chance. And I think the plan after we went down a man was good. We dropped into a 4-4-1. I've been in quite a few games down a man, a lot in college, actually. So, I've had to manage those things quite a bit. And the biggest thing that you need to do is to get your guys believing that it's not that big a deal, because it's a bit of a mind screw when you're down a man. But actually, the game doesn't change a ton. And, I think you saw that on our group tactically. You saw that on our group mentally. You can't press anymore. You lose a number there, but your defensive shape is the same, the 2 lines of 4. And you can build the same because the numbers are the same there. You just don't have that extra number high. So you got to play in transition. You got to hope for set pieces. You got to defend really well. But the biggest thing is you got to believe you can pull it off. And you got to have a couple players that are going to pull off a play like Lucas did today.
Thank you, Caleb. Next, we'll go to Charlie Hatch of ColumbusCrew.com, followed by Ori Benneter, and the final question will be Pat Murphy.
Hi, Caleb. I guess the first thing I'll ask is, I'm assuming you've never been in a scenario where your club's been down 2 goals and down a man and gotten a result. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think I said that in my opening.
Yeah.
I've never even seen it. I've never even seen it. Yeah.
And so I guess just to go off of that, how much more, I know you look like you enjoyed it at the end, but how much more does it mean to have this happen against your rival and not, not to say another opponent, but to do this in their own backyard in a place where they're still looking for a win, they think they have it, and then you guys shut them up?
Yeah, again, I think it's crazy that we outpassed them and outpossessed them, and it was pretty even shots. I think they had like 13-9. So I think our team grows in stature. I think we grow in confidence, actually. That's 2 games in a row where we've come from behind 2 goals. We need to correct, obviously, giving up the goals, but actually the play was incredible. The flow of the game, the way we controlled it, to everything. We just need to clean up the defensive third, which is weird because actually that was our greatest strength last year and early in the year, this year. So we've just had some weird situations that have occurred that I don't like and that we need to clean up. Minute 30 in, you're giving up a goal. They kick the ball over the top and we have everybody back. We should never give up a goal there. And the second one as well. We've got good numbers. We're in balance. There's no organizational problem with any of those situations. It's just individual moments where guys, are getting beat. So that we need to clean that up because certainly we can't rely on coming back from 2 goals down every game. But again, I think more than anything, I'm not celebrating a draw. I'm celebrating the mentality of my team. I love my team. I love this group. I love their attitude. And yeah, we are on the road. You can't forget that. And we're playing a team that's desperate, and they were up 2 goals and up a man. And it's just incredible, again, that we were able to get a result.
Next, we'll go to Rory Benatar, and the final question will be Pat Murphy.
Caleb, kind of taking a different angle on, having the man disadvantage. And I remember last year I asked you and we talked about how Cincinnati played with that sort of park the bus mentality, 11 guys behind the ball most of the game. Were you a little surprised to see a little bit of that when they were up a man in the second half? Because you guys were just controlling the entire game in that second half, throughout with 10 men.
Yeah, again, right. I told the guys at halftime, I said, listen, we can keep the ball still. We just have one less number high. So a lot of teams, they think that it's going to be different, and you basically wait to lose. You drop in and wait to lose, and you give up. So we kept the ball. It helps when you're a team that always keeps the ball. I always say this: if you're a team that carries the game always, when you're down in a game, nothing changes. If you're a counterattacking team, when you're down a goal, everything changes now. And I think they struggled to carry the game, and that's why we always train to carry the game and push the game, because I know you're going to be down some and nothing changes. And when you're up in the game, nothing changes. You carry the game, you push, you go for the second goal. And that's why I believe in the way that we play. I was a bit surprised that it dropped in. Certainly if they pressed a little higher, gambled a little bit more, it would have been really difficult. I think they allowed us to kind of have a bit more possession, which allowed us to gain a little confidence. They had some moments late, especially on the right side when Costa was pulling out there. He's a very good player. He's extremely dangerous, but not much. I don't think Evan had to make a real, maybe he did. I don't remember him having to make a save, a big save in the second half. So I think they had a little bit of the ball like at the end of it, but didn't create much.
Caleb, you touched briefly on Miguel and Eric coming in. Obviously, Miguel with the goal, but Eric had some good defensive plays, had the run there at the end. Can you just touch a little bit more on got those guys to produce like that, like you said, without very many training sessions with you guys?
Yeah, we'd always planned if we didn't get the goal to make it 2-2, that the last 15, 20 minutes, we would kind of go into a 4-2-3. Insert Hurtado. We knew he was only good for about 20 minutes. He hasn't played a minute in an MLS game since May 28th. He's been out for 4 weeks. He's just been training 6-7 days and mostly on the side. And so we knew he couldn't go any more than 20. So we always had planned to put him in the last 15, 20, put him at the 9, and then have Miguel and Lucas basically push on, more aggressive, not track as much, and go into more of 4-2-3. And then when we got the goal, then I shoved Eric wide because I knew he would defend and track a little bit more and put Lucas back up top, and we went into the 4-4-1. But I thought Eric was exactly why we signed him. He's a little bulldog, explosive, really quick, can run at guys. He's kind of like a little power pack. He's going to get up underneath your skin, and he can play wide and up top. So he's versatile. He's just a great piece. So he's not just a Band-Aid. We're not a desperate club that Band-Aids anything. If we can find a good piece that's going to be here long term, but help us short term, then we're going to do it. And that's why we made that move for him. We think he'll be a guy that's here long term, and yet he'll help us until Bradley gets back.
Thank you, Caleb. This is going to conclude this segment with head coach Caleb Porter.